am back, dragging my tail a little bit because I've been to Stitchville. Did you know I went to Stitchville? Oh my gosh. That I can't even express how fabulous it was I'm speechless. I'm just speechless, which doesn't happen very often. But let me start at the beginning. So, two friends and I decided to go to Minnesota to Woolstock, which is Stacy West / Buttermilk Basin's what they would call like a barn event. And we went a few days early so we could hook up with our friend Karen, who lives in Battle Lake, Minnesota, and go to Stitchville. Yeah, talk about Stitchville. So here's how it started. You know, we got to take our stitching supplies and we got to do, make sure we have things for Woolstock, but also our cross stitch stuff. And we're traveling on 2 different airlines. So Robin and I were traveling together. Dale was flying a separate airlines. And Robin and I get to our little local airport, which is like a little local airport, although it's very busy because we are a destination. Everybody wants to live here. Top 10 lists of everything. Everyone who wants to move wants to live here list on AARP or Sunset Magazine, all of that. So the airport's very busy. And the TSA are very busy. Yeah, TSA. So we worried a little bit about our scissors. And I took 2 pairs of scissors. I took my little Kai's and I took my bigger Kai's. And these are 5-inch, but the blade is less than 4-inch. And I checked, less than 4-inch, okay for on the plane. So I took these 2 pairs of scissors. And we were doing okay checking through TSA, except for Robin kept her vitamins in her front pocket, so she got the full deal, full meal deal search, very intimate with TSA. And they asked who she was traveling with. Oh, that would be me. Yeah, so she points to me, like throw that person under the bus. She couldn't have just lied and said, I'm traveling alone. No. She said, I'm traveling with that yahoo over there. And so the TSA guy that my bags, I've already gone through the little checkpoint, my bags have come through. He says, do you have any sharp objects? Anything dangerous? And I said, just my sewing scissors, in that sweet voice. Just my sewing scissors. And so he brings me over to the screen and he points up to it and he says, what's that? And I look up at the screen and I go, what is that? Then he sticks his hand in there and pulls out a big pocket knife. I use it to cut thread, sir, don't you know? We live out in the backwoods. No. I was using G's carry-on suitcase and he had left his pocket knife in it. And I had no explanation other than floss is really tough sometimes. Yeah. So G lost his pocket knife. But we were convinced then our faces, both Robin and I, our faces was on the, the list. Watch out for these. But on the way home, we got TSA pre-check. Sweet. It was great. So once we got on the plane, we made it. I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize right now. This is going to be a long video. So you either don't want to watch it because it's too dang long, or you're going to want to watch it as background, like the teacher on Snoopy. So, because I'm going to attach to the end of all my ramblings the actual video at Stitchville. Oh man, was that awesome. And the best thing, there was a Panera's bread right in the same strip area, mall area, so you could get your blood sugar back up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's where we stopped first. We hit Minnesota and we went to Stitchville. Karen took us right there, and it was amazing. It was really a beautiful shop. They also had buttermilk basin wool kits there, needlepoint, but truly the variety of cross stitch was fascinating, and it was interesting. You'll see a lot of the samples have this number tag on them, and what that number tag was is that the sample, they have a big Bible, cross stitch Bible, and you bring that number up and they look up in that Bible what thread and fabric they used and count, because they didn't necessarily do it the way the designer stated. So the samples are not a perfect replica of the pattern all the time, but they have it so organized so that you can go up there and say number blah 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 blah, wah, 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 and they will flip through their little Bible and say, okay, we used this thread and this count on that particular pattern. I mean, it was genius. So I have a lot of haul. Yeah, I have a lot of haul. But first I'm going to show you what I got done. So Karen's house was like heaven, absolute heaven. And we barely got out of our PJs while we were there. And we spent most of our, here she has this beautiful house. We spent most of our time sitting in her stitch room. Stitching, and so I did get this little, I started this on the trip. I took it in my project bag that my friend Anne made for me for traveling, and I took this project because it was all kitted up and ready to go. Yes, that's a cute one. Little House Needleworks, home of a needleworker squared, and I got that much done. Yeah, there's my Magnolia Baby Creates needle minder. So the thing about it I found was, you'll notice that it's in the wrong way, but the right way for traveling on a plane, because if I had the finished side on the inside and the stitching on the outside, I couldn't see because of the shadow. The lighting is not great on an airplane, but the shadow created by these bars, you know, didn't work. So I flipped it around. So this is the best way to do it on a plane. Yeah, not much done, but I got a good start on it. And I have not stitched on my trees. Although I didn't take it, I did want to show you that on this country cottage needleworks, all the houses I'm putting together into one wall hanging, I did get my raccoon house down, and I am now starting on my raccoon. So that feels good to have his house built. Now I have to build him. So on to the haul. Oh, yeah, okay, are you ready? So this is the bag I walked out with the first day, yeah. And I filled my punch card, so we had to go back 2 days later, yeah. Get a punch card. when you go there. The punch cards were $17.50. But I'll tell you what I did. So this is the first chart I was drawn to. I mean, that, when I saw that on the wall, it was just gorgeous. And it's by Stony Creek, Harvest Blessings. And it's a silhouette, and it has the you know, the Mayflower type, the Indian, the Pilgrim, the turkey. It's all done in silhouette. And they did it with this color thread, and the owner chose this color thread to do it in, so I fell in love with this, called Classic Colorworks Fallen Leaves. And, oh man, it's such a big pile, holy crap. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Oh my, yeah. Stitchy Witch, are you listening to me? I'm trying to clean up my act here. Okay, so the fabric is doubloon, 32 count. 32 count. So that's what they did their project on. A linen 32. And she chose Fallen Leaves by Classic Colorworks. Oh, yeah. It was gorgeous. So I'm going to start that this month. This is going to be a new start. Yeah, that's going to be a new start. Okay. Now the other one that I loved was called A Sheltering Tree. They did not have the thread that they used, so I can't tell you even what it is because I ordered it. They're going to mail it to me. But this is by All Through the Night, Bonnie Sullivan. Bonnie Sullivan is a wool quilter whose sister is Kathy Schmitz. So she has ventured in to cross stitch. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's called A Sheltering Tree. Friendship is a sheltering tree. Yeah, gorgeous. And the thread that they used was just one thread, but it was variegated, and I loved how it looked. And they did it on putty linen, 30 count. So it's a beautiful kind of a greenish gray look. I can't wait till I get the thread. Oh. Then I just love this, and I knew I was going to have to do I have an owl pattern somewhere in my pile, and so I got this little thing. Yeah. And then, let's see, what else is here? I love the boobies so much by that Heinzit. So I found this that I'm going to make for a friend of mine who loves tea. And it came with a little teapot charm. So that will be on my list down the line. That'll be maybe a New Year's start. Okay, and then, oh my gosh, this is so cute. This came with all the threads and buttons and fabric, and I thought it was adorable. And know that Stitchville doesn't have a website like where you can order product off. You actually have to call them. So this is the Trilogy Snow Treats, and it came as a kit. My stomach is growling. This vegan girl had somewhat of a challenge the last few days in Minnesota. But it came with all the buttons, the thread, the fabric. It came as a kit. So if you call them and ask for snow treats, you don't even have to worry about the fabric. Okay, so here's the thing. I walked out that first day with a bag this big, having to stop contributing to my grandchildren's college fund because of a bag this big. And I can give you 2 pieces of advice. Do not go to Stitchville when you have had to get up at 3 in the morning to get to the airport and you've flown most of the day and that's your first stop. Do not do that, because you are not thinking clearly, especially if you're a newbie, like me, because you aren't seeing things clearly. And so I bought, I had my app after all. I had my app. Oh, my stomach is so growling. I had my app, and I had my shopping list on my app. Yeah. And I had a list of flosses I need. I didn't list the project I needed them for. I just had the name, and I had a fabric I needed. So I bought this, this is called Cocoa, 30 count. So I bought this beautiful piece of cocoa. But then I bought all these flosses. See how beautiful they are? Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they wonderful? Well, these flosses, oh, maybe I should, or maybe, oh, that's kind of awesome, isn't it? Yeah. It's like having dreads, cross-stitch dreads. Well, these flosses are going in the safe. Yes, and they're going in my will, because I had no idea. I was too tired. I did make the comment when I checked out that, wow, that's a lot of money for a bag this size. So when I got back and woke up the next day and looked at my bag, I told Robin, that was a lot of money for a bag that size. So she starts going through my haul. And she nearly has a coronary too, because all of these are silk. They're going in, they're like $8 a piece, or whatever that was. I can't even remember now. I don't know why I bought these. They were on my shopping list in my Stitch app, and so I bought the right colors, and I was so excited. I found all the colors, not thinking that I wonder what these are for, and that I've never stitched with silk. But yeah. Oh man, no wonder I filled up that punch card. So, yep. Oh, they don't deserve to be thrown on the floor. Holy cool. My potty mouth. Okay. So that was the first day at Stitchville. I can't even remember the second day at Stitchville. It's such a blur, but I did know I had a punch card, so I had to go back, So actually maybe 2 of those silk flosses were like almost free with the punch card, because I can rationalize all kinds of stuff. Sorry for babbling on. And when I got home, there was mail. I got this in the mail. I had forgot I had even gotten this. Robin has this. She told me on the plane. And then when I got home, on the plane I was thinking, I gotta order that. And there it came. Yeah, Prairie Schooler. And then I got the sweetest, I'm calling it a birthday present because today's my birthday. I hear all of you cheering. And this came from Australia, from down under. And one of my friends sent me, this is what happy looks like. Anne-Marie, we've been hanging around together a lot. And she was digging around her sewing room, and she found this old cross-stitch kit, And literally, it has the floss, the fabric, the charms, and the pattern, and the fabric that gets lined on the inside. Look at that, isn't that cute? I don't know if that was intended for that, but it is so cute. But here's the project she sent. So that's going to be awesome, because I'm going to take this when I go down south and work on it all winter, and I'll have an Easter project done. And it came with the charms, the beads, yeah, she'd had this for buried in there, and she dug it out and sent it to me. I am so happy. Oh my gosh, I dropped a silk floss. I knew nothing about silk floss. And so let's see, what else are we talking about here? So I've been trying to catch up on the comments, and I know this is going to be a super long video. I am so sorry. I do not want to divide it into two halves where it's me rambling and then Stitchville. I'm asking G to help me combine them. And so I've been working through my comments that I left behind when I went to Stitchville, you know, because I went to Stitchville. And I found out in the comments that the cross stitch gal, that is her local needle shop. Holy moly, I could not live that close. In fact, I am really happy that Acorns and Threads is 3 hours from me, because that is, I've already got my list for Acorns and Threads. Yeah. And then one of the gals on Stitch Roadies explained 24-hour stitch to me. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work in my life. I'm not sure I can do that, because I maybe can stitch till happy hour, but then I have happy hour, and then what does your stitching look after happy hour? Yeah. How does happy hour fit in a 24-hour stitch? Yeah, I'm not sure. If anybody knows, let me know. Yeah. But I'm supposed to look at Jen Lee and Cindy's explanation of 24-hour stitch. So I'm going to go and I'm going to see if they're drinking like 2 Martini Stitchers. Drinking with, I'm not sure, but her stitching, oh my gosh, her stitching is fantastic. But I've actually only seen her take a couple of sips when she's doing her Floss Tube. So I'm wondering if she actually drinks 2 martinis, and it's not always martinis, before she stitches, or if that's a aperitif, or yeah, we'll have to see. But it was fun to come back. I'm trying to catch up on all my Floss Tubes, my Lost and Floss girls. Oh, I like my Lost and Floss girls. And then one of the commenters, this is the thing about spell check. One of the commenters said she was Eva, she was working on a possum. Don't they bite? I'm not sure what that meant. My knowledge base is still growing, and I appreciate all of you that are helping me fill the gap. So I know I'm rambling. I'm a little bit tired. It's my birthday, and but she's working on a possum. I know when I was texting my girlfriend Karen, and I was telling her, say hi to the Woolies, it came out Wookiees. Wookiees. I don't think those girls would like to be called Wookiees. Anyway, stay tuned. Sorry for the length. Here you come with Stitchville.